the issues related to environmental justice and how did it evolve all the way from 1970s to now. And that's where the concepts related to sustainable development goals are now also very, very important. UNESCO's work with biosphere reserves as models for sustainable development. So we have many of those areas covered today. And Professor Roman has joined, so I will try to summarize this and then we will start with Roman as another session. This would be unusual for the first time that we will have one after the other. So colleagues, if you want to continue to join, please stay because this would be even more interesting from the science point of view. So while we have dealt with the legal side. So let me quickly also try to go that indigenous part of our society and in the environments we live usually is not properly considered. And very important to learn from you, Donna, with your work in with the indigenous communities, that indigenous communities may not have the concept of time, the past, present, and future, and how do we bring it into our environmental justice in the implementation of the laws and in the understanding of the link with the environment. So we have to continue to build that indigenous knowledge if we have to make the just sustainability. Also, very importantly, we have the guiding principles like polluter pays principle, or we have this environmental ecosystem services related principles, the programs like Man and Biosphere Program, World Heritage Sites, where we have protected areas. But very importantly, the zonation concept, the core zone, the buffer zone, the transition zone, it needs to very carefully consider how do we bring the global principles to the national laws and how do we link all the way to the communities. And very importantly, we should never forget the local indigenous knowledge and the indigenous communities and bring it in their context. Also, very importantly, we have learned today that the justice system, the governance system can be strengthened. Judges are very flexible, and Donna has trained many judges, and including those in Bangladesh. So there is a good body of knowledge which is there, the expert witness system. But that's where I came into the interest of law while I was an expert witness to the Environmental Defenders Office called on me, and that's where I went into this degree program. In my view, also, Donna, we need to have this link between the scientists and the lawyers very strongly on both sides. Lastly, today we have also discussed very importantly, what do we do in the time of COVID? And the payment for environmental ecosystem services, there is a very good chance for us to protect against these pandemics, but also provide the just sustainability, livelihoods to people in their own areas. And there may be many ways to fund such kind of environmental ecosystem services, and very importantly, the role which the local and indigenous communities can play. So maybe that can be a guidance we take from today, and this can be a recommendation to our policy colleagues in the Man and Biosphere program, as well as with the World Natural Heritage. So we thank you, Donna, for today's wonderful session with us. Thank you very much. So now,